You bet.
Now, the mainstream media and the left continue to downplay new developments in both the Russian dossier story and the controversial Uranium One deal. Take a listen to this exchange from the White House press briefing today.
Why did the president involve himself in the Uranium One investigation? Are you trying to gin up your own Russia investigation to rival the one up on Capitol Hill? And where is the president's evidence that Hillary Clinton colluded with the Russians, as he tweeted this morning?
In terms of the president being involved, I'm not aware of any specific involvement. The president has pushed for transparency, if that's what you're referring to when dealing with Congress.
And the CNN legal analysts seem to find a curious scapegoat for the genesis of the uranium story.
This whole uranium thing comes from Fox News. I mean, this is a closed investigation that came up in Peter Schweizer's book, Clinton Cash, in 2015. It was discredited then.
It's from 2010, by the way.
Well, yes.
I mean, that was when
the book came out in 2015.
Started happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The book came out in 2015. It was one of the accusations. It's been discredited. 2 years later, Fox News and Republicans in Congress and Republicans in the White House start raising it simply as a way to wave Russia back at the Democrats. Right. There is nothing new, no new information here.
Joining us now from Boston, syndicated columnist and Boston Herald radio host Adriana Cohen, and from Virginia, Ned Ryan, the CEO of the group American Majority. So, Adriana, I'm going to start with you. You know the Democrats are guilty when the media begins blaming Fox News for the scandal.
It's just outrageous. I mean, that's all they have left. I mean, it's just incredible. One thing we can say is, as everything that exploded this week with this Russian dossier story, now we know why Hillary Clinton deleted all those emails.
Yeah.
When we learn more and more about this uranium deal. Had she not deleted so many emails, we perhaps would know much more what was going on. But this is just an incredible bombshell, Jesse. The Democrats have been pushing this fake, Russian narrative that, the Trump campaign colluded with Russians to subvert our democracy. They accused his son, Donald Trump Jr., of treason, horrible things, and they kickstarted all these congressional investigations and the special prosecutor. Now we find out that it was actually Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC who paid $9 million, $9.2 million, to basically Russian informants to give them agitprop, all this fake information,
right,
fake news, to subvert our democracy. So is the Democrats
Hillary basically paid for
Russians.
Fake news, as ironic as that seems. Ned, I want to fact check something that Jeffrey Tobin said over at CNN. He said this came from Fox News. It absolutely didn't. It's book absurd that he refers to, Peter Schweizer, he's not a Fox News contributor. And the story was broken by The Hill newspaper, a nonpartisan publication.
But even more importantly, Jesse, in April of 2015, the New York Times wrote a long piece on this. Joe Becker was one of the authors of it and actually wrote about Uranium One and the Clinton Foundation. So actually it came out of the New York Times in 2015. And I think the thing that we need to go back and look at the Uranium One deal is go look at these 9 CFIUS voting members and bring them to the Hill and ask them under oath in front of either the House Intelligence or the Senate Judiciary Committee, why did you approve this deal again? And it was done in a rather expedited fashion, Jesse. Started the first week of August of 2010 and was approved October 22nd of 2010. When you're dealing with issues like this of real national security, sometimes it takes up to 120 days. They were more like 75 days. I mean, there were mergers that were not approved this quickly by Obama's Department of Justice Antitrust Department.
It's true, and the committee you're talking about is this Committee on Foreign Investment, where Hillary and Eric Holder voted on this uranium deal. Now, my question to you is this. The journalism is about holding powerful people accountable. And what's more powerful than the Clinton dynasty or billionaire Russian industrialists? You'd think the media maybe won a Pulitzer Prize and maybe start digging around and following the facts. They say they're not fake news, Adriana, but now's an opportunity for them to really start digging and start looking into the facts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what we've learned about with this Russian uranium deal, I mean, clearly it was a pay to play. I mean, we don't need Peter Schweizer's book. As much as a value of it was, he brought it to a lot of people's attention. I mean, the average person watching in America knows that it's very suspicious when you have the United States government, the State Department approving 20% transfer of our uranium, and then around the same time, the Hillary Clinton Foundation is getting $145 million, not from Joe Blow from Idaho. They're getting that money from 9 Uranium One investors.
That's a great point. This is what I would ask you guys. Let me just ask you, Ned, I would say to these people that approve this deal, what is the American interest in selling 20% of our uranium to the Russians? How does that help America?
Right. Well, so these are the answers that we need to understand, Jesse. What were the motivations to actually approve this deal?
Right.
Because Rosatom, the Russian nuclear agency, atomic agency, is the one that really controls, was the controlling interest in the company that acquired the uranium. They've been helping Iran build nuclear plants. They've been training Iranian nuclear scientists. These people do not have our best interests in mind. So was it in an attempt to get Russia to come in on a bad Iranian deal? Or quite frankly, Jesse, was this deal approved to benefit Democrat and Clinton Foundation donors as some sort of a payback for all the financial support they've given? But Jesse, I want to go back and hit the media on this. They have acted like they are Moses coming down from Mount Sinai with God's truth. You know what they are? They're nothing but opinionists. They're not journalists anymore. They're just another guy with an opinion, with a different worldview and a different value set, trying to drive a specific narrative. And the reason that they got played on this, they tried to attempt to pull off one of the biggest hoaxes in American history when the left and the press tried to persuade the American people that somehow the duly elected president of the United States was a puppet of Putin's and essentially a traitor to his country. You know why they did it? Because there is a certain disdain for America in the left and the press. And that when that disdain lines up with the misinformation they were fed, they bit hard on it.
Yeah, the Russian collusion narrative completely boomeranged and hit Hillary right in the head. And politics is a team sport, Adriana. The Democrats and the media on one team and the Republicans on the other. It's 2 against 1.
That's right. And, I wrote my Boston Herald column just a few days ago that I think Bob Mueller needs to recuse himself. Because how can we have a special prosecutor aggressively going after the Trump administration and, the Trump campaign associates, while on his watch, while he ran the FBI, he overlooked the pay-to-play between Uranium One and $140 million going to the Clinton Foundation. He also overlooked a Russian bank paying Bill Clinton $500,000 for a 1-hour speech. And also, Bill Clinton met with Putin personally right before this deal went down. So if none of that, crossed his radar, he let all that go by, and he also let John Podesta's Russian financial entanglements go under his radar. And now we're supposed to believe that he's impartial, going after Donald Trump and his family and his associates so relentlessly. He has to recuse himself.
No, I mean, his integrity is definitely in question because of all of the things you just cited. And we want to just let the audience know that CNN is reporting that Mueller has brought an indictment down tonight. We have not at Fox News confirmed that. We don't have the facts on that yet, but if we do bring that fact out, we will bring it to the audience, but not yet. We're not going to speculate on what is going to happen. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty big week next week. Adriana, Ned, thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Jesse.
Coming up, President Trump is draining the swamp, and it's driving the establishment